I merely tossed a rusted iron spear to my disciple on a whim, yet he used it to attain sainthood, becoming the realm's sole spear saint. Upon seeing this, my second disciple was filled with immense envy. From the courtyard, I picked up a stray pebble and handed it to her. Through it, she awakened a saint physique and ascended as a peerless empress. From that moment on, my legend spread across the world, and countless individuals flocked to seek my tutelage. Witnessing this, I was utterly bewildered. I had only ever desired a life of leisure. To think, many years ago, I transmigrated into this cultivation world. I believed I could rely on a system to ascend to the pinnacle of existence. However, this system seemed to be malfunctioning. Aside from daily check-ins rewarding me with scrap iron and weeds, it couldn't even be bothered to provide a novice guide. I asked, "System, have you become some sort of repetitive spirit? Can't you change things up after 38 years of daily check-ins?" My only response was a hollow silence. I sighed, casting a glance at my surroundings. Look at this dilapidated sect. The plaster peeling from the walls is more abundant than the dandruff on my head. I know not of its former glory, but now if I were to throw a stone, I wouldn't hit another living soul. As my words faded, the system finally flickered to life with 4 words. "The time has not come. The time has not come," I chuckled bitterly. "It has been 38 years, my friend. Is this opportune time of yours suffering from a difficult birth?" Seeing the system return to silence, I shook my head in helplessness. So be it, recruiting disciples and expanding a sect is far too troublesome. As for world domination, I wouldn't even dream of it. I would rather stay in this ruined temple and live in comfort. Just as I turned to sleep, the system's voice suddenly changed tone. "Peerless genius detected." I jolted awake. A mandatory mission was activated. Recruit that genius within 3 days. Rewards: to beat failure, obliteration. I sprang to my feet. Obliteration? You must be joking, system. At that moment, tens of thousands of miles away in Tianfeng City, a name was being whispered with great sorrow: Xiao Chen. At the age of 15, he had already reached the threshold of the Golden Core stage, hailed as a once-in-a-century genius. But at 17, the myriad ancient burial ground opened and Xiao Chen stepped inside. 3 months later, upon his return, his surging cultivation had vanished without a trace. His meridians were severed, and his dantian lay in ruins. The Xiao family lost all patience. To protect their reputation, they eventually cast him out. The once-celebrated genius vanished from the world. No one expected that this useless man was currently dragging his broken body through the wilderness. Within his hollow gaze, a flicker of unwavering determination remained. The peerless image of a spear within his heart guided him forward, leading him slowly toward my dilapidated sect. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged, moving as swiftly as a phantom. Xiao Chen remained expressionless. He only wished to know who it was that desired to eliminate him with such haste. The man in black huffed coldly. "Years ago, you relied on your talent to humiliate my sect's disciples. Today, I shall claim vengeance on their behalf." With those words, he lunged with his blade. Stripped of his cultivation, Xiao Chen could not evade. A bitter, self-deprecating smile touched his lips. Perhaps in this way, he could finally find release. Meanwhile, within the courtyards of the Qingyun sect, I could no longer resist the system's threat of erasure. "Fine, I will go. Is that not enough? But mark my words, I may take a disciple, but I cannot teach one. I have no idea how to even wield my own power." Seeing the system remain silent, I grit my teeth. "At the very least, you must tell me where this genius is located. The target's location has been marked. Do you wish to activate the 10,000-mile instantaneous talisman? 10,000 miles in an instant? To think such treasures existed. Hurry then. Once I've settled this, I need to return and enjoy the sun." A faint light glowed beneath my feet, and the landscape began to recede at a terrifying speed. In the next heartbeat, I landed in a desolate wasteland. Before I could even react, I saw a man in black lunging with his blade. Startled, I instinctively threw a punch. The man's head was instantly severed from his body. Behind me, Xiao Chen stood frozen in shock. "Who is this man?" I too managed to regain my composure after the initial panic. Is this truly the peerless genius I was told to find? He certainly doesn't look the part. I cleared my throat and looked at the youth. "Do you wish to know who sent this man to take your life?" Xiao Chen cupped his hands in respect. "I would be grateful, senior." I tapped my finger lightly upon the corpse. Channeling my energy, I activated the soul-searching technique provided by the system. A moment later, I withdrew my hand. "The one who sought your life is from the Li family of Tianfeng City, one of those whose legs you broke years ago." Chen's pupils constricted. I added another detail, however, the one who truly hired him is someone else entirely. That person's name is Su Wanqing. At the mention of that name, it was as if a bolt of thunder had struck him. Su Wanqing was his childhood sweetheart. She was the only person for whom he still harbored a shred of hope after being cast aside. Yet she was the very person orchestrating his demise. He staggered back, his spirit shaken. I let out a soft sigh. "Do you require my assistance in dealing with this?" After a long silence, Xiao Chen shook his head firmly. "I dare not trouble senior. This is a matter I will settle myself in the future." I smiled faintly. "Very well, now you truly resemble a protagonist." I stepped toward vengeance. "Do you wish to cultivate once more?" Xiao Chen looked up, his expression dazed. "My meridians are completely destroyed. Cultivation is now a futile effort." I questioned the system inwardly. "This boy's meridians are severed. He is no better than a cripple. Are you certain he is a peerless genius?" Once the discipleship is established, the pill of destruction and restoration will be issued, reversing his skeletal structure and awakening his latent talent. "The pill of destruction and restoration?" I raised an eyebrow. "That sounds impressive. Why did you not say so sooner?" Turning back to the stunned Xiao Chen, I cleared my throat. "If you desire it, follow me." I have a medicinal pill that can reconnect your meridians and make them even stronger than before. Xiao Chen jerked his head up. What did you say? I can recover? He had nearly resigned himself to fate, yet this mysterious figure who effortlessly dispatched the assassins claimed there was a way. I nodded. Will you take me as your master? Give me a definitive answer. I still have sleep to catch up on. Ignoring his injuries, Xiao Chen fell to his knees. Disciple Xiao Chen pays his respects to master. Congratulations to the host for successfully recruiting Xiao Chen as a disciple. Rewards: the Pill of Destruction and Restoration, the Rusted Killing Spear, and the Prairie Fire Spear scripture. The Disciple Cultivation System is now active. The host may obtain bountiful rewards through the growth of his disciple. A series of notifications echoed in my mind as I looked down at the items that had suddenly appeared in my hand. A silver-white medicinal pill, a rusted and mottled iron spear, and a thread-bound book with a yellowed cover and faded script. Is this all? I tossed the iron spear in the air, eyeing its appearance. System, are you certain you didn't scavenge this from some scrap heap? As soon as I spoke, a screen of information manifested before my eyes. The rusted killing spear contains the origin of the ancient Tao of the spear. The host must bind it with a drop of blood before bestowing it upon the disciple. Once the disciple's cultivation progresses, he will be able to undo the seal himself. Hearing this, I casually thrust the items toward Xiao Chen, who was still kneeling. A meeting gift for you, take it. Xiao Chen accepted them with both hands, but the moment his fingers brushed the medicinal pill, he could clearly feel a surge of power. It eased the pain within his scorched meridians, bringing a measure of relief. Looking back at the rusted spear, which appeared nothing more than a piece of worn-out junk, it caused the shadow spear, dormant for years deep within his soul, to tremble slightly. His eyes instantly grew red with emotion. After so many years, he finally felt the long-lost taste of hope. My thanks, master. Seeing this, I waved my hand dismissively. This was no place for such talk. Follow me back to the sect. With those words, I activated the one-breathe 10,000-mile talisman. Xiao Chen's vision blurred. When he regained his footing, he was standing in a place even more desolate than the wilderness. Above him hung a plaque with its paint peeling away, where one could barely discern the three words, Qingyun Sect. A gust of wind caused the gate to creak, sounding like a pile of ruins abandoned for centuries. Xiao Chen looked at me in a daze. Was this truly a sect and not the hovel of a vagabond? I paid no mind to the turmoil churning within Xiao Chen's heart, pointing instead toward the only intact room in the center. Regarding the half-collapsed room beside it, if you do not mind its state, repair it yourself and make it your quarters. After speaking, I let out a yawn and retreated into my room, leaving Xiao Chen standing alone, bewildered in the wind. But regardless of the circumstances, he finally had the chance to stand tall once more. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and bowed respectfully toward my retreating figure. Several days passed quickly. I discovered that having a disciple lingering about was not as troublesome as I had imagined. Xiao Chen was a man of few words, but his hands and feet were diligent. Every day before dawn, he would rise to practice with the rusted spear in the courtyard. Once his spear training was finished, he would begin cleaning the grounds. In just a few short days, this dilapidated Qingyun sect actually began to feel inhabited. I was quite satisfied with this arrangement. After all, if I didn't have to lift a finger, why should I? I continued to bask in the sun as I always did. Occasionally, I would glance at Xiao Chen. Seeing his arduous cultivation, I would reach into my storage and toss some scraps his way. Sometimes it was a pitch-black stone, other times a withered yellow leaf. Yet Xiao Chen treated these items as peerless treasures, receiving them with reverence and storing them away with the utmost care. I thought these peaceful days would continue, but that very afternoon I suddenly heard the sound of light footsteps approaching the courtyard gate. In this desolate place where even birds rarely deign to land, a visitor had actually arrived. Intrigued, I turned my gaze toward the entrance, only to see a young woman standing there, her beauty truly exquisite, yet she possessed a composure that seemed far beyond her years. At that moment she frowned slightly, observing the courtyard as if confirming something. Before I could even open my mouth, the system's voice resounded sharply in my mind. Detecting a peerless genius, the reincarnation of an ancient empress. Mandatory mission triggered, recruit her as a disciple within 1 day. Reward to be determined. Penalty for failure, obliteration. Hearing this, I bolted upright. System, are you distributing these in bulk now? It has only been a few days, and yet another has arrived. And this one is actually the reincarnation of an ancient empress. Facing the system's silence, I clutched my head in frustration. Recruiting Xiao Chen was manageable by using medicinal pills as a lure. But an empress reincarnation sounds incredibly formidable. Would she truly look twice at my dilapidated sect? Meanwhile, the young woman at the gate noticed the two of us in the courtyard. I appeared indolent and carefree, yet my cultivation seemed unfathomably deep. She could not see through me at all. As for Xiao Chen, who was chopping wood, his aura seemed weak, yet it held a hidden, unyielding sharpness. There are actually people in this place, she thought. The young woman was inwardly astonished. Her name was Zhang Li, and she was indeed the reincarnation of an ancient empress. In her previous life, before her passing, she had heard that the southern region once held a Qingyun sect that flourished in its prime. Later, for unknown reasons, it declined and vanished into the river of history. In her past life, she chanced upon a rumor that a century ago a rogue cultivator entered a secret realm and unearthed several ancient treasures. The entrance to that secret realm was located near the ruins of the former Qingyun sect. Zhang Li had not yet fully awakened her empress powers and was in dire need of resources to recover her strength. Thus, she followed the clues all the way to this location. Zhang Li composed herself and asked, "Excuse me, is this the Qingyun sect?" I looked her up and down. She was quite beautiful, but her temperament was like that of an ancient relic, not endearing in the slightest. I lazily pointed to the plaque above my head. See for yourself. Zhang Li looked up at the peeling plaque and then back at me. I am the sect leader of the Qingyun sect, Chang Zhou, I said, while not forgetting to point toward Xiao Chen. That is my disciple. Hearing this, Xiao Chen stopped chopping wood and gave Zhang Li a slight nod. Zhang Li's gaze lingered on Xiao Chen for a moment before returning to me. I will not hide the truth from you. I heard rumors that a treasure once appeared here, so I came specifically to try my luck. If I have disturbed your cultivation sect leader, I hope for your forgiveness. I see, so she has come seeking treasure. Hearing this, I felt a secret joy, but remembering the system's mission, I spoke up with feigned reluctance. Seeking treasures is fine, but this territory belongs to me. If you wish to search here, you must follow my rules. Zhang Li frowned slightly. What rules? Acknowledge me as your master and join the Qingyun sect. Then not only can you seek treasures, but you may take whatever you wish from the sect's resources in the future. Zhang Li was filled with confusion. This man, who appeared lazy to the extreme, actually dared to take me as a disciple? I am the reincarnation of an ancient empress. What right does the sect master of such a dilapidated sect have to make such a claim? I felt slightly uneasy under her intense gaze. What are you looking at? If the system hadn't forced me, who would bother taking you in? What a nuisance. Have you made up your mind? If you join, you may roam this place as you please. If not, then please leave. Do not obstruct my sunbathing. Zhang Li looked at the nonchalant man before her and suddenly felt that this situation was far more intriguing than she had imagined. Very well. With those words, the young girl knelt upon the ground and kowtowed 3 times. Disciple Zhang Li pays respects to master. Was a reincarnated empress truly this easy to recruit? Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully recruiting Zhang Li. Reward, rusted iron sword. Looking at the sword that suddenly appeared in my hand, I was left speechless. This sword was remarkably similar to the spear I had given to Xiao Chen. Its blade was covered in rust, looking like common scrap metal salvaged from an ancient well. I casually tossed it to Zhang Li, a meeting gift for you. Go and entertain yourself. Zhang Li reached out to catch it, and the moment she touched the blade, her entire body shuddered violently. A powerful ancient sword intent surged through her arm and into her sea of consciousness, causing the Empress mark deep within her soul to glow with heat. This was a sacred sword of the Emperor's path. Although it was heavily sealed, the innate pressure emanating from its core was unmistakable. Zhang Li's fingers tightened around the hilt. Her gaze toward me shifted completely. He had casually tossed aside a sacred sword of the Emperor's path as a mere meeting gift. Just how much power did this lazy master truly hide? Thank you, master. Zhang Li solemnly put the sword away, her attitude far more respectful than before. I have placed several seals on that sword for you. I have already explained how to undo them. Do not release the seals without cause, or you will suffer a backlash. Having said that, I pointed toward the dilapidated house nearby. Clean that place up yourself. If you wish to seek treasures, roam the back mountain, but do not stray too far. Having just sent my disciple away, I intended to return to my room and rest. However, the system's voice rang out again. Activating disciple growth mission. Within 10 days, the eldest disciple Xiao Chen must utilize the destruction and renewal pill to restore his cultivation and gain the mission rewards. 3 marrow cleansing pills and a bundle of sect restoration materials. Mission failure will result in a 10-year deduction of the host's cultivation base. System, I have only accumulated 38 years of cultivation. Are you already aiming for it? Xiao Chen's meridians are completely severed. To recover his cultivation and comprehend spear intent within 10 days, you surely have some misunderstanding regarding the nature of recovery. This time, the system did not remain silent, offering an unexpected explanation instead. The Destruction Before Creation pill contains the power of rebirth. When combined with the Liao Yuan spear scripture and the rusted iron spear, achieving the goal within 10 days is by no means difficult. I rolled my eyes and called out to Xiao Chen in the courtyard. Xiao Chen hurried over upon hearing me. Master, you summoned me? Why have you not yet consumed the pill I gave you? Master, I wish to practice on my own first. Hearing this, I narrowed my eyes. Nonsense. Take that Destruction Before Creation pill immediately. Once consumed, head to the back mountain to cultivate. Within 10 days, you must restore your cultivation and comprehend a measure of spear intent. I spoke as casually as if I were commenting on the pleasant weather. Xiao Chen's eyes widened in shock. Master, do you say 10 days? He knew the pill was precious, but he never expected its effects to be so staggering. To not only recover but also comprehend spear intent in a mere 10 days. That was a realm he had failed to reach even during his prime. As soon as those words were uttered, Xiao Chen stood tall. I will certainly not fail Master's expectations. Clutching the pill tightly, he turned and sprinted toward the back mountain. Zhang Li, who had just finished cleaning the room nearby, felt her lips twitch upon hearing this. This master truly has a peculiar sense of humor. A short while later, at the back mountain of the Qingyun sect, Xiao Chen took a deep breath and swallowed the pill. The pill dissolved instantly, followed by a searing, agonizing pain as if his body were being torn asunder. Xiao Chen gritted his teeth, staring into the void before him, his eyes burning with a desperate thirst for power. Watching from a distance, I casually formed a hand seal. An almost imperceptible ripple of light spread from the earth, instantly enveloping the entire back mountain. In an instant, the spirit chi from all directions surged wildly toward Xiao Chen, converging above his head into a cloud of spiritual energy visible to the naked eye. Having finished, I let out a yawn. I had opened a spirit gathering array, simply to ensure his slow recovery wouldn't delay me from receiving my rewards. This spirit gathering array was a reward from my 3rd year as an honorary disciple. I had simply left it to gather dust in storage. Today, it finally has a purpose. With the support of such a massive amount of spiritual energy, the power within Xiao Chen grew increasingly violent and intense. In just half a day's work, his cultivation base skyrocketed as if riding a celestial gale. He directly shattered his previous bottleneck and stabilized his foundation firmly at the early golden core stage. He opened his eyes and grasped the rusted iron spear he always carried on his back. The moment the spear touched his hand, it seemed to possess a soul of its own. His body moved purely on instinct. Though it was clearly his first time executing the spear technique, it was as if he had practiced it tens of thousands of times. Every single movement was flawless and natural. Is this truly the legacy of the ancient spear saint? Seeing this, I nodded repeatedly. At least he wasn't making me lose face. In truth, I had no understanding of what made a spear technique good or bad. I simply thought it looked impressive. Xiao Chen approached and dropped to one knee before me. Master, your disciple's cultivation base has been restored. I beg Master to allow me to return to Tianfeng City. Hearing this, I raised an eyebrow. To return for what? Revenge? As he spoke, a cold, sharp glint flickered in Xiao Chen's eyes. Once I have settled these old grudges, I will surely return to serve by Master's side. I seeking my vengeance, are you? Very well, go. If I do not let you go, I fear you will develop a heart demon. With those words, I pulled 3 small jade bottles from my robes and casually tossed them to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen opened them to find 3 perfectly round, vibrant medicinal pills. Master, these are life-saving and healing elixirs, and one that can temporarily boost your cultivation. You have only just recovered. Do not allow yourself to be undone by a sneak attack. These items are piling up in my storage. They are quite worthless. Upon hearing this, Xiao Chen's hands trembled, nearly dropping the jade bottles. Worthless? Medicinal pills of this grade would be enough to ignite a frantic bloodbath in Tianfeng City. He gripped the jade bottles tightly, the reverence he felt for me deepening once more. Disciple, thanks, Master. I waved my hand dismissively. Do not be in such a hurry. I told you to comprehend spear intent within 10 days. Only a few have passed. You shall depart tomorrow. Use this day to reflect deeply and comprehend the intent of the spear. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. Spear intent. Although his spear techniques were currently formidable, he had yet to touch the profound realm of intent. I nodded, then picked up a branch broken by the wind and tossed it aside. The branch traced an arc through the air, planting itself firmly into the ground before Xiao Chen. Strangely, the moment the branch touched the earth, a peerless and razor-sharp spear intent radiated outward, as if an invisible long spear were hovering in midair. Xiao Chen's pupils constricted. This spear intent was even more overbearing than what he had sensed outside the Eternal Spear Clan. He stared fixedly at that ordinary branch as if witnessing an ancient spear saint standing tall with weapon in hand. I clapped my hands and said to him, "A night of reflection should be enough, shouldn't it? Once you have understood it, leave tomorrow to seek your revenge. Go and return quickly. Do not disturb my tranquility." Having spoken, I turned back toward the wooden cabin, leaving Xiao Chen dazed where he stood. He stared intently at the branch piercing the ground, his eyes filled with shock and fervor. Just what kind of being was his master? As night deepened, the back mountain of the Qingyun sect fell into a deathly silence, save for the spear intent radiating from the branch, which gradually merged with Xiao Chen's aura. As dawn approached, Xiao Chen abruptly opened his eyes. He gripped the rusted iron spear and gave it a slight flick. The spear tip emitted a low cry like the roar of a dragon. A pale white spear light condensed into form. Xiao Chen looked toward the bamboo house and bowed deeply. Master's great kindness is something this disciple shall never forget for all eternity. Xiao family, Suanqing, are you prepared to receive me? At this moment, inside the wooden cabin, I was awakened by the notification chime of the system. Mission Disciple Growth. The spear emerges like a dragon completed. Rewards: 1,000 years of cultivation, 9 revolutions, spirit gathering array, laws of the spear Tao. I let out a yawn. 1,000 years of cultivation. My current cultivation is so vast that I can no longer keep count. Adding another millennium is like snacking on a single sunflower seed. I feel nothing at all. On the other hand, regarding that 9 revolutions spirit gathering, constructing this simple formation to ward off wild beasts should suffice. I stretched as I walked into the courtyard, shifting my focus with a single thought. The entire Qingyun sect suddenly glowed with a faint light as the concentration of world spirit chi instantly surged several times over. Just as I turned to return to my room, I saw Xiao Chen carrying his rusty iron spear, preparing to descend the mountain. Halt! My words caused Xiao Chen's footsteps to freeze. Where is the hurry? Before you descend, let us have a little practice. With that, I retrieved 2 wooden figures from my storage ring and tossed them onto the ground. 2 clouds of dust billowed as the wooden figures instantly transformed into 2 puppets, each over 2 meters tall. The overwhelming pressure of the late-stage Golden Core realm surged forward, striking him head-on. Xiao Chen's pupils constricted. Late-stage Golden Core puppets. Puppets of this grade would be considered clan-protecting treasures even within the great families. Yet, Master had casually tossed out 2 of them as if they were nothing. I smiled. Leaving them in storage only served to clutter the space. They shall serve as your practice targets. I walked over to my reclining chair and lay down. Defeat them today, and I shall allow you to descend the mountain. These 2 puppets have no concept of mercy. Either you dismantle them, or they shall tear you apart. The choice is yours. Xiao Chen was left speechless. Was Master training him, or was he seeking his life? He took a deep breath and tightened his grip on the rusty iron spear. A sharp spear intent erupted in an instant as he charged toward the two puppets. However, as time passed, Xiao Chen's shock only grew. Not only was the raw power of these puppets ferocious, but their techniques were profound and unpredictable, more formidable than any opponent he had ever faced. From my chair, I cracked melon seeds while critiquing him. That thrust was half a beat too slow. Yes, just like that, use your spear intent to lock onto its movements. As I spoke, a figure in red robes emerged from the side room. It was Zhang Li. Clearly drawn by the commotion in the courtyard, she stood to the side to witness the spectacle. The craftsmanship of these puppets far exceeds any heritage I know of. This is surely the pinnacle of ancient-grade mastery. To think Master would use such treasures merely for a disciple's practice. She suddenly realized that the personal treasury of this master was likely more terrifying than she had ever imagined. Senior brother's spear intent is progressing quite rapidly. Zhang Li spoke softly, her tone laced with a hint of astonishment. I glanced at her. He is passable, but compared to me in my youth, he is still a world apart. Zhang Li was left speechless, now seriously suspecting that boasting was my daily pastime. By now, the battle in the courtyard had reached its climax. Several new wounds had appeared on Xiao Chen's body, but his gaze grew sharper and brighter with every passing moment. His spear intent became increasingly refined. A moment later, Xiao Chen let out a thunderous roar. A dense, potent spear intent erupted from the rusted iron spear, piercing through the cores of both puppets in an instant. Seeing this, I gave a casual wave of my hand, and the scrap metal puppets on the ground flew back to me. Acceptable. You have met the requirements. Remember, once you descend the mountain, do not cause too much trouble for me. If you truly find yourself unable to handle a situation, call out for me. Though in all likelihood, I will not come to your rescue. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry upon hearing this, yet he still bowed solemnly. This disciple shall keep your teachings in mind, Master. With those words, he turned and strode out the main gate, heading toward Heavenly Wind City. Silence returned to the courtyard. Only Zhang Li and I remained at Tianshui. I stretched my arms, intending to return to my room. Suddenly, Zhang Li spoke up, Master, when will it be my turn? Huh? I was slightly taken aback. Your turn for what? Zhang Li pointed at my pocket. For practice. Surely your treasury contains a suitable target for me as well? Witnessing the young girl's eager gaze, I was momentarily speechless. This reincarnated Empress, how is she even more demanding than Xiao Chen? What is the rush? We shall discuss it when your senior brother returns. However, now that he has left, there is no one to cook lunch. You shall do it today. Just make something simple. Zhang Li's face was filled with confusion. She was once a peerless ancient empress. When had she ever performed such menial labor? But as my disciple, she was bound to serve her master. The refusal at the tip of her tongue was swallowed back down. She nodded silently. Understood, Master. At that same moment, in the outskirts of Heavenly Wind City, a figure approached slowly. It was Xiao Chen, who had just departed from the Qingyun sect. The city guard glanced at him, and his eyes suddenly widened. Is that not Xiao Chen of the Xiao family? As soon as those words were uttered, several nearby cultivators gathered around. It truly is him. Was he not cast out by the Xiao family? Someone attempted to probe Xiao Chen's cultivation only to be repelled by an invisible surge of spear intent. Such powerful momentum, this man was certainly no talentless trash. The murmurs grew louder, yet Xiao Chen acted as though he heard nothing. These whispers would soon reach the ears of those he intended. As expected, in less than half an hour, news of Xiao Chen's return and his restored cultivation had spread to every corner of Heavenly Wind City. At the Su family estate, Su Wanqing's body trembled as she listened to her maid's frantic report. You say Xiao Chen has returned? The maid nodded, confirming that the rumors outside claimed he had not only returned but had fully restored his cultivation. At these words, Su Wanqing's face turned deathly pale in an instant. Years ago, she was the one who bribed the Li family to assassinate him. If he found out, no, impossible. He couldn't possibly know. Meanwhile, the Xiao family had already fallen into chaos. The current patriarch Xiao Lai slammed his hand on the table and stood up abruptly. What did you say? Xiao Chen has returned and restored his cultivation? Patriarch, since that brat Xiao Chen is back, he should be made to return to the clan at once. He is, after all, of the Xiao family bloodline. Perhaps there were hidden circumstances behind the events of that year. The speaker was the third elder, who had once held Xiao Chen in high regard. Third elder, you are far too naive. A middle-aged clansman immediately retorted. Years ago, he ruined the clan's affairs, and after his meridians were severed, he became utterly pathetic and broken. Now, having come across some unknown stroke of luck to restore his power, he surely returns only to fight for the clan's resources, or perhaps even to seek revenge against the family. The crowd erupted into a heated argument, voices clashing incessantly. Seated above them, Patriarch Xiao Li's gaze was profound and unreadable. He was weighing the possibilities. If Xiao Chen had truly returned to his peak strength, he could undoubtedly solidify the Xiao family status. However, if he harbored a grudge, a genius who could rise from the depths of being a cripple would possess a terrifyingly resilient will, one that could never be underestimated. Enough. Silence, all of you. Xiao Lai gave a low, powerful shout, and the hall instantly fell silent. Just as he was about to speak, a sudden announcement echoed from the door. Patriarch Xiao Chen has returned. Everyone froze, their eyes shifting simultaneously toward the entrance, only to see a figure walking in slowly. It was Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's indifferent gaze swept over the crowd, before finally coming to rest upon Xiao Lai. But before he could speak, another commotion erupted outside the gates. The patriarch of the Su family, accompanied by Su Wanqing, entered alongside the Li family patriarch Li Batian. Patriarch Xiao, we heard your esteemed son has returned, and we have come specifically to offer our congratulations. Li Batian laughed heartily, though his eyes scanned Xiao Chen intently. Behind him, the patriarch of the Su family wore an inscrutable half-smile. Su Wanqing stood behind him with her head bowed, as if gripped by some hidden fear. The moment Li Hao saw Xiao Chen, his eyes instantly turned blood-red with rage. Years ago, this person had suddenly emerged and stolen the title of the #1 genius that rightfully belonged to him. Now, this trash actually dared to return. Consumed by a sudden surge of jealousy and resentment, Li Hao unsheathed his longsword and pointed it menacingly at Xiao Chen. You useless trash, you still dare to show your face? Consider it your grand luck that you weren't beaten to death back then. Today I will show you who the true genius of Tianfeng City really is. Before his words had even faded, Li Hao lunged forward, his longsword whistling with sharp sword chi as it thrust toward Xiao Chen. The members of the Xiao family watched with cold indifference. Not a single person moved to intervene. Xiao Li even narrowed his eyes slightly, taking this opportunity to see exactly how much of his strength had been restored. Facing the incoming blade, Xiao Chen's expression remained as calm as a placid lake, without a single ripple of emotion. At the very moment the sword tip was about to find its mark, the onlooker's vision blurred as a pitch-black spear shadow manifested. A rusted iron spear had appeared in Xiao Chen's hand out of nowhere, its tip piercing cleanly through Li Hao's heart with unerring precision. In utter disbelief, Li Hao looked down at the spearhead in his chest before collapsing, his eyes wide with shock even in death. The entire hall fell into a deathly silence as everyone stood frozen in place. Li Hao was at the early Golden Core realm. Even if Xiao Chen had recovered, he shouldn't have been able to kill him so effortlessly. Xiao gazed at Li Hao's corpse on the ground, then turned his gaze toward the rusted iron spear in Xiao Chen's hand. This level of power was several times more terrifying than it had been years ago. His previously tense face was instantly replaced by a radiant, wide smile. He quickly stepped down from his seat of honor. Xiao Chen, my worthy son, you have finally returned. The third elder standing nearby also rushed forward to join him. Indeed, Xiao Chen, you are the future hope of our Xiao family. A crowd swarmed around Xiao Chen, their voices overlapping as they showered him with sycophantic praise. They had completely forgotten the cold indifference and abandonment they had shown him in the past. It was as if they were all devoted family members who truly cared for his well-being. Witnessing this, Li Batian no longer dared to mention avenging his son. Forcing a smile onto his face, he said, young friend Xiao Chen is truly a hero emerged from the younger generation. It was my rebellious son who lacked judgment and offended you. Should you have any commands in the future, my Li family will obey, even at the cost of our lives. The Su clan patriarch hurriedly nudged Su Wanqing, who stood beside him. Wanqing, quickly pay your respects to young friend Xiao Chen. You were childhood sweethearts in the past. Now that Xiao Chen has returned, the two of you should become closer once more. Su Wanqing's face turned deathly pale and she lowered her head, not daring to utter a single word. Seeing that Xiao Chen's expression remained indifferent, the third elder hurried to feign a look of profound heartbreak. Xiao Chen, a few days ago I heard rumors that some villains intended to ambush you in the wilderness. Tell us who they are. Our Xiao clan will absolutely not tolerate such an affront. The group gazed eagerly at Xiao Chen, waiting for him to name his enemies so they could use the pretext of revenge to bind him completely to the Xiao clan. However, Xiao Chen's gaze slowly drifted towards Su Wanqing, whose face grew paler by the second. Xiao Lai and the third elder reacted in an instant. Patriarch Su, could it be that those who waylaid our young Xiao Chen back then were from your Su clan? The Su clan patriarch's expression shifted drastically as he barked, nonsense. No such thing occurred. In an instant, the Xiao clan members surrounded the Su father and daughter, erupting into a heated confrontation. Xiao Chen watched the chaos before him with cold indifference. An imperceptible arc curled at the corner of his mouth. How interesting, he thought. The bickering lasted for the duration of an incense stick. Seeing that Xiao Chen remained silent throughout the ordeal, the Su clan patriarch grew uneasy. He knew that continuing the argument would yield no favorable outcome. Finally, he gritted his teeth and declared, very well, the Su clan is willing to surrender the next 3 years of profits from the East City mine to atone for our offenses against young friend Xiao Chen. 3 years of profit. The eyes of the Xiao clan members instantly lit up with greed. The annual yields of that mine were immense. 3 years of such wealth would be enough to elevate the Xiao clan's strength to a whole new level. The third elder was immediately overcome with joy. That is acceptable. Considering Patriarch Su has shown such sincerity, we shall pursue this matter no further. Xiao Li also nodded and looked toward Xiao Chen, yet Xiao Chen still maintained his silence. Patriarch Su's heart sank, realizing that this small gain had not yet appeased him. He gritted his teeth and played his final trump card. Young friend Xiao Chen, I shall not hide the truth from you any longer. Wanqing has been scouted by the Profound Heaven Sect of the Northern region. She has already become an inner court disciple. The Profound Heaven Sect is a pinnacle power in the Northern region, and their sect master is a formidable expert of the deity transformation realm. The meaning behind his words was clear. With the Profound Heaven Sect backing her, no matter how strong Xiao Chen was, he could not afford to offend them. The smiles on the faces of the Xiao clan members froze, and their gazes toward Su Wanqing became filled with newfound dread. Patriarch Su looked at Xiao Chen, silently praying that this final revelation would be enough to suppress him. Finally, Xiao Chen reacted. He raised his eyes to meet Patriarch Su's and calmly asked, and then? These words caused Patriarch Su's face to instantly turn a deep, humiliated crimson. The reputation of the profound Heaven sect in the southern region was enough to strike fear into 90% of the powers there, yet this brat dared to disregard them entirely. Xiao Chen didn't even bother to give them a second glance. His gaze swept through the crowd, finally coming to rest upon a middle-aged cultivator. It was Xiao Meng, the son of the Great Elder. Years ago, when his cultivation had vanished and he was exiled to the outer courtyard, it was this very Xiao Meng who had led a group of clan disciples to harass him constantly. They would either seize his meager rations or drag him into the mud to deliver a brutal beating. Xiao Chen took a step toward him. Xiao Meng, do you dare engage in a life-and-death duel with me? The hall immediately broke into a commotion. Having just slain Li Hao, he now sought to strike down one of his own kin. Xiao Meng was stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. You wish to challenge me to a life-and-death duel? With just your meager abilities? He was now at the mid-stage of the Golden Core realm. Convinced that no one in the clan's younger generation could rival him, how could he possibly respect a former waste who had only just recovered? Xiao Chen acted as if he hadn't heard, staring intently at Xiao Meng as he repeated his question. Do you dare? Upon hearing this, Xiao Meng suddenly drew the long saber from his waist. So be it. Today I shall remind you that once a piece of trash, always a piece of trash. The moment those words left his mouth, the crowd instinctively retreated, clearing a wide space for the two combatants. A moment later, Xiao Meng let out a thunderous roar, charging toward Xiao Chen with a ferocious strike. However, his opponent neither dodged nor retreated. Instead, Xiao Chen's spear tip thrust forward with unerring precision. A crisp metallic ring echoed through the air. Xiao Meng felt a massive surge of force travel through his blade, numbing his grip to the core. His saber nearly flew from his grasp. Xiao Meng's face turned pale with shock. How could this be possible? Xiao Chen gave him no time to recover, his spear tip driving straight toward the man's heart. In a desperate panic, Xiao Meng swung his blade to parry, but the overwhelming force sent him reeling backward until he slammed violently into a stone pillar. He struggled to stand, but Xiao Chen already had his rusted iron spear pressed against his throat. Falling to his knees, he pleaded desperately, I was wrong. I have realized my mistake. Please, for the sake, please, spare my life. The Great Elder's face had also turned ashen with dread. Xiao Chen, I beg of you, spare as my only son. However, these pleas did not cause Xiao Chen to hesitate for even a moment. Just as he was about to exert his killing force, an ancient voice suddenly resonated through the air. Stop your hand. Accompanying the voice, a figure appeared before Xiao Chen like a phantom. The clan elder Xiao Lai and the other elders all bowed in unison to pay their respects. This was the hidden old monster of the Xiao clan who had remained in secluded cultivation for years. No one expected him to emerge this day. The clan elder looked toward Xiao Chen, his tone laced with profound displeasure. Xiao Chen, have you returned to the clan only to commit repeated murders against your own kin? First Li Hao and now Xiao Meng, do you hold no regard for the rules of this family? Rules? Does the clan elder truly wish to speak of rules with me? When I was banished from the clan, hunted and beaten like a stray dog, where were all of you high and mighty figures then? The hall fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned by Xiao Chen's defiance as the clan elder's expression darkened. It is true that Xiao Meng acted wrongly back then, but he is a member of this clan and the sole descendant of the Great Elder. Executing him would be detrimental to the unity of our family. Xiao Chen laughed, his long spear pointing directly at the clan elder. I care nothing for your clan. In today's life and death struggle, one of us must fall. As the words left his lips, images of the spear surged once more, sharper and more lethal than ever before. Seeing this, the clan elder's temperament turned frigid. How audacious! If you dare murder Xiao Meng today, you will surely slaughter the entire clan tomorrow. Today I shall cleanse the family line. With that, the crushing pressure of an early-stage nascent soul realm cultivator descended upon Xiao Chen like a collapsing mountain. Xiao Chen was shaken to his core. He had not expected the clan elder to be so decisive, striking to kill without hesitation. He hurriedly raised his spear to parry the blow, but was still forced back 3 steps, a trail of blood seeping from the corner of his mouth. The clan elder pressed his advantage relentlessly, launching another devastating palm strike toward Xiao Chen. Watching the elder's palm wind sweep toward him again, a look of grim determination flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes. If this continues, death is certain. My only choice is to release a portion of the spear's seal. This rusty spear was a gift bestowed upon him by his master. He had long realized that it contained an entire universe of hidden power within. He could faintly sense a terrifying force locked behind layer upon layer of profound seals. His master had once warned him, unless it was a matter of absolute desperation, he must never forcefully break the seal. He feared a potential backlash, but the current situation allowed no further hesitation. Xiao Chen chanted silently within his heart. A moment later, the rusty iron spear suddenly let out a low, resonating hum. Then, a wave of spear intent 100 times more powerful than before was suddenly unleashed. The clan elder's expression shifted violently. His hand, which was about to strike down, froze mid-air. An intense sense of dread surged within his soul. It felt as though he was not facing a mere golden core cultivator, but rather a prehistoric beast capable of threatening his very life. This spear is truly bizarre. Xiao Chen let out a low growl, channeling the power of a newly released seal. A brilliant spear radiance shot straight into the heavens, carrying with it a faint ethereal wisp of spear intent. It silently bypassed the elder and hurtled toward Xiao Meng. Not far away, the elder's pupils constricted in shock. His early-stage nascent soul spiritual power erupted without restraint, forming a dense, impenetrable spiritual barrier. In the split second, he exerted his full strength to block the spear radiance. That silent thread of spear intent struck the paralyzed Xiao Meng on the ground. Xiao Meng didn't even have time to scream before a tiny bloody hole appeared between his brows. His eyes glazed over as his life force vanished completely. The elder finally realized what had happened. When he turned his head, he saw only Xiao Meng's lifeless corpse. As for Xiao Chen, who had been standing right there, he had long since vanished. Filled with shock and rage, the elder swept his divine sense across the entirety of Tianfeng City, yet he could not find even a trace of Xiao Chen's aura. After him, pursue him, even if you must dig 3 feet into the earth, find Xiao Chen. Xiao Lai and the other elders looked at one another in stunned silence. They never imagined that the useless trash they had abandoned years ago could kill Xiao Meng right under the nose of an early nascent soul elder and still make a clean escape. By then, Xiao Chen had already used the eruption of spear intent as cover to flee Tianfeng City, galloping toward the Qingyun sect. He glanced back at the city that held so much of his humiliation, a cold smirk playing on his lips. The Xiao family, Su Wanqing, Li Batian. The day's debt is far from settled, but first I must return to the sect to report to my master. Meanwhile, in the courtyard of the Qingyun sect, Zhang Li swept the last of the fallen leaves into a bamboo basket. He then approached me as I lay on my reclining chair with my eyes narrowed in repose. Master, the grounds are swept. Can you teach your disciple now? Master, your disciple has finished her tasks. The shocks she had received at the Qingyun sect over the past few days were more than everything she had experienced since her reincarnation combined. This master appeared lazy to the absolute extreme. Yet the spear he had casually tossed to the first senior brother was an imperial-grade divine weapon. His casual guidance on spear intent alone could trigger a sudden epiphany in a golden core cultivator. That old, crooked locust tree in the courtyard had clearly awakened its sentience, yet it could restrain its aura to appear even more ordinary than common rubble. Sometimes at night, she could feel the tree's shadow swaying gently as if it were deep in cultivation. The chicken huddled in the corner appeared harmless, but whenever she drew near, her very soul would tremble with numbness, as if she were facing a slumbering primordial beast of ancient times. Then there was the stray dog that crouched by my feet daily. It clearly looked like a common mutt, yet the occasional sliver of aura it released would shake the heart of even a reincarnated empress like her. As for me, I seemed entirely accustomed to all of this, spending my days sunbathing and napping, only offering casual pointers while she worked. On the first day of sweeping the courtyard, I pointed at the fallen leaves scattered by the wind. The sword is not meant for mere slashing. Following the natural flow is far less taxing than meeting force with direct resistance. Zhang Li's hand holding the broom froze as her comprehension of the sword Dao showed signs of sudden advancement. On the second day, while she was cleaning the furniture in the room, I watched as she used spiritual energy to flick away the dust. Spiritual energy is not meant for hollow displays, I remarked. Only by applying your intent to the smallest details can you truly achieve purity. She was struck by a moment of enlightenment, and her control over spiritual energy became many times more refined. On the third day, she was chopping wood at the back mountain. I walked up to her with a blade of grass in my mouth. To chop wood, one must observe the grain. To strike with a sword, one must observe the weakness. The principle is one and the same. Her axe-swinging motion halted as the stagnation in her sword techniques miraculously vanished. I let out a yawn and sat up from my reclining chair. Teach you what? I do not even know how to use a sword. Zhang Li was left utterly speechless. She had long since grown accustomed to her master's profound humility. No matter what the master, casually spoke, she would ponder it with her chin in her hand. Pointing toward the mountain path outside the gate, I remarked, ascending the mountain is easy, but descending is difficult. Cultivation is the same. Once you have gained speed, you must learn to steady your steps. These words were ordinary enough, yet to Zhang Li's ears, they struck like a bolt of lightning. For the past few days, she had been drawing upon the spiritual energy of the 9-cycle spirit gathering array. Her cultivation had progressed at an incredible pace, and she had long ago reached the threshold of the nascent soul realm. However, she always felt as though something was missing. It was exactly this principle of steadying one's steps. In her past life, she was an empress with an exceptionally solid foundation. But after her reincarnation, driven by the urgency to restore her former glory, she had overlooked the most fundamental process of consolidation. This disciple understands. Zhang Li bowed deeply to me, then turned and rushed into her room, sitting down cross-legged. I watched her retreating figure and scratched my head. She understood just like that. I had originally intended to tell her not to trip while going down the mountain. At the same time, inside her room, Zhang Li integrated the concept of standing firm into her cultivation technique. Her turbulent spiritual energy instantly became calm and steady. In an instant, a vast surging aura erupted from within the room. The pressure of the early-stage nascent soul realm spread outward like a rising tide. Normally, breaking through to the nascent soul realm takes at least 100 years, yet under Master's guidance, I achieved it in just a few days. Master is truly terrifying, I squinted as the gale of her aura blew past. A breakthrough already? This girl's progress is truly swift. She gives me much less to worry about than that kid Xiao Chen. I only wonder if she'll cause fewer troubles once she descends the mountain. I had no idea that my casual pointers had catalyzed the birth of a powerhouse who would make the entire southern region tremble in the future. Ding, congratulations, host, for completing the Disciples Growth Phase mission. Reward, the creator's eye, capable of seeing through the essence of all things and viewing lifeform information panels. The law of the sword, the law of water, the myriad transformation pill formula, and 3,000 years of cultivation. I raised an eyebrow upon hearing this. The creator's eye, it sounds like it will save me a great deal of trouble. From now on, I won't have to guess the nature of the various items the system provides. Just as I stored the rewards into my spatial ring, familiar footsteps echoed from outside the courtyard gate. Master, your disciple has returned. Xiao Chen entered the courtyard, the faint scent of blood still clinging to him. You weren't thoroughly thrashed in a fight, were you? I waved my hand, signaling for him to take a seat. Shen scratched his head. Master, it seems junior sister doesn't want to pay me any mind. Earlier, when I greeted her, she only acknowledged me with a simple nod. I glanced at him and remarked, she has already ascended to the nascent soul stage, while you who entered the sect before her are still lagging behind at the mid-stage of the golden core realm. It is only natural that she looks down on you. Xiao Chen paused, realizing there was truth in my words. Seeing this, I recalled the eye of creation I had recently obtained. A faint golden light flashed within my eyes, nearly imperceptible. As I looked toward Xiao Chen, immediately a semi-transparent status window appeared before me. Xiao Chen, the eldest disciple of the Qingyun sect. Recent experience city, he defeated Li Hao and Xiao Meng. He engaged in battle with a nascent soul elder of the Xiao clan. Escaping through his spear intent, his foundation has become more refined through actual combat. I nodded in satisfaction, at least he has not brought me shame. Xiao Chen scratched his head sheepishly, feeling as though he had partially avenged his past grievances. However, Su Wanqing has joined the Zhuanqian sect in the northern region. It is a top-tier power one his current self cannot yet challenge. I nodded and said, you must settle your grudge with Su Wanqing yourself. I will only intervene when you are at death's door. At that moment, a figure in red approached from the back of the mountain. It was Zhang Li. The Zhuanqian sect of the northern region is immensely powerful. While they may lack a great ascension cultivator, they certainly possess those at the body integration stage. They are not to be trifled with. Though she rarely paid much attention to Xiao Chen, she would not simply stand by and watch him perish. Hearing this, Xiao Chen nodded. I will be careful. I waved my hand dismissively. Enough. Xiao Chen, since you have just returned, go to the kitchen. Stew a chicken for lunch and add a few spirit mushrooms. Zhang Li, do not leave just yet. Stay and eat with us. After making the arrangements, I nudged Dai Huang, who was lying at my feet. Dai Huang, go to the back mountain and catch a wild pheasant. We are having chicken stew for lunch. Once Dai Huang had departed, I looked toward the old locust tree nearby. On that note, this old locust tree has quite a storied history. It has stood here since ancient times. It developed spiritual sentience long ago. Back when I was truly bored, I would often converse with the old fellow. However, after I took on disciples, the tree ceased its speech, as if it wished to keep its existence a secret from others. Several days passed in the blink of an eye. That day, after finishing her sword practice, Zhang Li came to see me. Master, while practicing my swordplay earlier, I felt a certain lack of spirit between the forms. Could you perhaps offer some guidance? Without even raising my head, I casually glanced at her using the eye of the creator. As expected, a new line of small text appeared on the information panel. A lingering soul injury from your reincarnation has caused a minute discrepancy in the flow of your spiritual energy. Over time, this will hinder your comprehension of the laws. Your body has a slight issue, I remarked. As I spoke, I retrieved a jade bottle from my storage ring and casually tossed it to her. Consume it. The moment Zhang Li opened the bottle, a wave of medicinal fragrance immediately cleared her sea of consciousness. She was stunned. A problem with my body? This disciple does not feel any discomfort. Just because you do not feel it does not mean it isn't there, I replied. You are a reincarnated cultivator. Your soul and physical body have not yet perfectly fused. This has left a minor obstruction. If left unattended for too long, trying to comprehend the laws in the future would be as difficult as ascending the heavens. Zhang Li was shaken to her core. This master of hers even knew the intimate details of her reincarnation. With that thought, she no longer hesitated and swallowed the pill. The faint sensation of stagnation she had felt previously indeed vanished. I thank the master. Zhang Li was both shocked and delighted. The look in her eyes as she gazed at me turned to one of profound awe. Seeing this, I waved my hand dismissively. Remembering the imperial Dao sword scripture granted by the system, I reached out and tapped her forehead with my index finger. I am too lazy to explain this sword scripture, so I shall transmit it directly to you. Zhang Li felt a massive torrent of information flood into her sea of consciousness. It was filled entirely with the profound truths of the sword Dao, from basic techniques to the comprehension of the laws. It was 100 times more complete than her own imperial Dao sword secret. Deduce the rest yourself, I said. She let out a soft groan and hurriedly sat cross-legged to digest the knowledge, her face flushed from the mental impact. Standing by the side, Xiao Chen watched with a gaze full of admiration. Master is truly kind to junior sister. Hearing this, I shot him a glance. If you can break through 3 minor realms in a single day, I shall transmit techniques to you as well. Xiao Chen's expression darkened instantly. Please forget I said anything. I fear the influx of spiritual energy would make me explode. A moment later, Zhang Li slowly opened her eyes. Sword intent flickered within them and her aura felt significantly more refined than before. Just as she was about to express her gratitude, she saw me walk to a corner to pick up a tree branch that had been snapped by the wind. I noticed your sword strikes were far too rigid earlier. I shall demonstrate a few moves for you. Both Zhang Li and Xiao Chen were stunned. A demonstration with a mere tree branch? Had the master not While the two stood in awe, my wrist rotated gently, tracing a perfect circular arc in the air. There was no earth-shattering momentum, and even the fluctuations of spiritual energy were incredibly faint, yet as it fell upon Zhongli's eyes, her pupils constricted in shock. That arc aligned perfectly with an invisible trajectory between heaven and earth, as if it were meant to be that way from the very beginning. It possessed no flashy techniques or boundless spiritual energy, yet every passing moment was precise to the absolute limit. It was a flawless sword strike, the likes of which Zhongli had never seen before. Beside her, Xiao Chen was also frozen in a daze. Master, is this truly performing swordplay with a mere branch? This is far more formidable than any sword cultivator I have ever witnessed. Seeing their reaction, I casually tossed the branch onto the ground. It is roughly something like that. Did you see it clearly? Only then did Zhongli regain her senses and bowed deeply toward me. This disciple has seen clearly. Thank you for your guidance, Master. It turned out that Master was not incapable of using a sword, but simply too lazy to do so. Using nothing but a withered branch, he could manifest such a profound level of the sword Dao. If he were to use that rusty sword of his, Zhongli dared not imagine the consequences. I let out a yawn. As long as you understand, then it is well. Practice on your own from now on. This old body of mine gets tired after even the slightest movement. Xiao Chen leaned in close to Zhongli and whispered, was Master perhaps a sword cultivator in the past? Zhongli shot him a glance. I do not know, but from now on, never say Master does not know the way of the sword again. Xiao Chen nodded hurriedly. Several months passed in a flash. During this period, Xiao Chen and Zhongli practically treated the back mountain as their home. One buried himself in spear training, while the other remained immersed in the way of the sword. Until early this morning, two powerful auras erupted one after another from the back mountain. The aura surrounding Xiao Chen's entire body condensed, as he finally achieved a breakthrough to the early stage of the nascent soul realm. Almost simultaneously in the nearby bamboo forest, Zhongli stepped out slowly, her late-stage nascent soul pressure vividly apparent. Congratulations, junior sister, on your further progress. Zhongli nodded slightly. Congratulations to you as well on your breakthrough. Xiao Chen scratched his head, a sudden surge of battle intent rising within him. Junior sister, how about a spar? I wish to see how many of your strikes my nascent soul stage spear arts can withstand. Zhongli glanced at the spear in his hand, a faint smile playing at the corners of her lips. Very well. As soon as she spoke, Xiao Chen struck, his spear tip lunging directly toward Zhongli's face. Zhongli's rusted sword unsheathed in a fluid motion, accurately striking the spear's primary point of leverage. Xiao Chen felt more than half of his force neutralized. He was secretly horrified, realizing his sister's sword Dao was even more profound than before her seclusion. As the two continued to exchange blows, Xiao Chen's heart grew increasingly heavy with every move. He was already at the early nascent soul stage, and his spear techniques were several times more powerful than when he was in Tianfeng City. Yet now he could not even graze the hem of his junior sister's robes. Meanwhile, the astonishment in Zhongli's heart was no less than Xiao Chen's. Only 3 months ago, her junior brother was merely at the mid-golden core stage, yet in just a few short months, he had not only broken through to the nascent soul stage, but his spear foundation was also terrifyingly solid. Following the final collision, Xiao Chen was forced back 3 steps by the sheer force vibrating from the sword. Junior brother, you've lost. At that moment, I finally spoke up lazily from my lounge chair. It's too noisy. Can a man not get any sleep in the morning? Seeing this, the two of them hurried forward to offer their salutations. I glanced at them both. It just so happens I have something to tell you. In 3 days, the Locking Dragon secret realm will open at the border of the southern region. That secret realm is an ancient ruin, and within it lie many hidden opportunities. Xiao Chen and Zhongli looked at each other, a flicker of excitement crossing their eyes. Are there any restrictions on this secret realm? I pondered for a moment. Only those below the deity transformation stage may enter. Both of you meet the requirements. The secret realm is divided into an inner and outer circle. The inner circle is perilous, rumored to be haunted by the remnant souls of ancient experts. The outer circle is safer, but the treasures are few. You must consider the risks and decide for yourselves. Having said this, I paused for a moment. Furthermore, the geniuses of every major and minor power in the southern region will be there, especially those from the top-tier sects, who for the most part possess foul temperaments. Do not go looking for a fight at every turn. Of course, if something does happen, just call for me. I'll try my best to arrive slightly late. Set out tomorrow morning to witness the spectacle, and while you're at it, pick up a few beautiful stones for me to bring back. The rockery in the courtyard is still missing a few soul-nurturing decorations. Xiao Chen was left speechless. It turned out the mission was simply to gather stones. Zhongli, however, nodded solemnly. This disciple has committed it to memory. After the two withdrew, Xiao Chen could not help but ask Zhongli, Junior sister, do you think Master has visited that secret realm before? How else could he know it so thoroughly? Gazed at the figure reclining on the rocking chair. What Master knows likely far exceeds our wildest imaginations. She tightly gripped the rusted iron sword at her waist, a flicker of anticipation gleaming in her eyes. The dragon-locking secret realm, perhaps clues to restoring the Empress's power can be found there. At the same time, within the profound heaven sect of the northern region, Su Wanqing and a young man sat opposite each other. This individual was Zhao Feng, the son of the sect's great elder. The previous attempt to use the Li family ended in failure. Not only did Xiao Chen survive, but he even achieved a breakthrough to the nascent soul stage. He is currently making quite a name for himself in Sky Peak City. Zhao Feng let out a cold sneer. A piece of trash from a fallen clan, what is there to fear? Su Wanqing shook her head upon hearing this. He is not that simple. To be able to escape the clutches of the Shao clan elders, and to leap from the Golden Core to the nascent soul stage in such a short time, there must be a powerful backer behind him. I heard he has joined an obscure nameless sect. No matter how strong a nameless sect is, it cannot possibly compare to our profound heaven sect. Junior sister Wanqing, you are being far too cautious. Zhao Feng smiled coldly. In 3 days, will the dragon-locking secret realm of the southern region not open? That trash will certainly go there to join the spectacle. Rest assured, I have already made arrangements with the Shadow Pavilion. It is the perfect chance for us to witness the commotion together and see just how pathetic those southern region country bumpkins truly are. The Shadow Pavilion is the most mysterious underground organization in the southern region. Their members span across all great regions as long as the compensation is sufficient. From sect elders to common mortals, they dare to accept any blood order and have never once failed their mission. Upon hearing this, a cold smile played on Su Wanqing's lips. I am grateful for Senior Brother Zhao's calculated efforts. The entrance to the dragon-locking secret realm was situated within a desolate mountain valley. At this moment, the area outside the valley was already groups of rogue cultivators gathered together, their voices rising in a heated buzz of conversation. Have you heard the news? This time, the opening of the dragon-locking secret realm has even alerted the major powers of the northern region. It is rumored that the Xuantian Sect will also be sending representatives. The Xuantian Sect, they are one of the peak powers within the northern region. What business could they possibly have in a southern region secret realm? Xiao Chen and Zhang Li found a corner to settle in, waiting in silence. At that moment, an ostentatious flying vessel streaked across the sky, and a group of cultivators in matching robes descended. Leading the group was none other than Zhao Feng. Not far behind him, Su Wanqing stood with her head bowed, her expression unreadable. At the sight of Zhao Feng and Su Wanqing, Xiao Chen's pupils constricted and a cold sneer formed on the corner of his mouth. To think a peak power of the northern region would travel all this way to a southern region secret realm. He tightened his grip on the rusted iron spear strapped to his back. Su Wanqing, you truly cannot wait for me to meet my end, can you? Very well. Perhaps I can collect a portion of that old debt within this secret realm. Zhang Li also took note of the Xuantian Sect members and sensed the shift in Xiao Chen's demeanor. The cultivators from the Xuantian Sect were all at the peak of the nascent soul stage. Furthermore, an ethereal, subtle intent emanated from their bodies. Behind them stood 3 figures clad in black. Not a single trace of their aura could be detected. Zhao Feng glanced at the surrounding southern region cultivators, a flicker of disdain appearing on his face. It is often said that the cultivators of the southern region possess mediocre talent. Seeing you today, it seems those rumors were indeed true. With such weak cultivation bases, I fear you wouldn't even measure up to the inner disciples of our sect. The moment those words were spoken, the surrounding area erupted in a wave of thunderous fury. Xuantian Sect, who do you think you are? How dare you act so insolently on southern soil? Do you truly believe our Purple Lightning Sect or the Clear Water Pavilion are inferior to you? The Purple Lightning Sect? The Clear Water Pavilion. Zhao Feng reacted as if he had just heard a hilarious joke. They are nothing more than insignificant backwater sects. Do you truly believe such lowly organizations are worthy of being compared to my Xuantian Sect? I have called the southern region cultivators weak. Are you dissatisfied with that assessment? And even if you are, what of it? A cold shout suddenly echoed from within the crowd. From the direction of the Purple Lightning Sect, a young man stepped forward slowly. Powerful spiritual energy surged violently around his body. It was clear his cultivation was at the peak of the nascent soul stage. The newcomer was none other than the young sect master of the Zedion Sect. His prestige in the southern region was immense. Mighty young sect master, the crowd shouted. Please teach these arrogant fools from the northern region a lesson. The surrounding southern region cultivators immediately erupted in cheers of encouragement. Zhao Feng raised an eyebrow. How convenient. I was just looking to stretch my limbs. Before the words could fully leave his mouth, the young sect master of the Zedion Sect instantly formed hand seals, as a lightning dragon coiled around his body and lunged straight toward Zhao Feng. Unexpectedly, Zhao Feng neither dodged nor retreated. In his hand, a black sword had appeared out of nowhere. The two had not even exchanged 10 moves when the young sect master of the Zedion Sect was pierced through the heart by a single strike. The entire field fell deathly silent. Everyone was utterly paralyzed by this sight. A peak nascent soul genius could not even withstand 10 exchanges against Zhao Feng. Young sect master, an elder of the Zedion Sect, cried out, his eyes nearly bursting with rage as he lunged from the crowd, his body erupting with the pressure of the early soul transformation stage. Xuantian Sect, do you wish for death? Zhao Feng's expression shifted slightly as his figure rapidly retreated. At that moment, 3 figures surged forth from the ranks of the Xuantian Sect, all of them clearly peak nascent soul cultivators. The lead cultivator let out a cold shout. In an instant, they formed a mystical battle array, unleashing a pressure no weaker than that of the early soul transformation stage. An observant cultivator cried out in shock. It is rumored that the Xuantian Sect possesses a secret technique, one that allows several peak nascent soul masters to join forces and contend with a soul transformation expert. As the words fell, the group condensed their spiritual energy into a massive palm, which violently collided with the lightning-infused palm of the Zedion Sect's Grand Elder. The latter let out a cold grunt forced back repeatedly by the overwhelming shockwave. Seeing this, Zhao Feng smirked coldly, so the early soul transformation stage is merely this much. The surrounding southern region cultivators fell silent. The arrogance of the Xuantian sect far exceeded their imagination. In a corner, Xiao Chen tightened his grip on his rusted iron spear. He could sense the indignation and resentment of the southern cultivators around him, and he could also see the chilling intent within Zhang Li's eyes. Zhao Feng's gaze seemed to sweep toward Xiao Chen, whether intentionally or not, as the corner of his mouth curled into a cold, cryptic smile. The people of the Yingji must have already infiltrated the crowd, shouldn't they? Xiao Chen, the anniversary of your death is not far off. Just as the tension reached its peak, a low humming sound echoed, and the space at the entrance of the Hidden Dragon's secret realm began to distort. A portal of light radiating an ancient aura slowly manifested. The crowd immediately erupted in a frenzy as cultivators scrambled toward the gateway. Xiao Chen and Zhang Li blended into the throng, their vigilant eyes scanning their surroundings. At that same moment, high within the nine heavens, there existed a sea of lightning where even the gods dared not tread. Yet, in the heart of this turbulent lightning sea, a figure stood with a leisurely posture, as if strolling through a private courtyard. A moment later, the space above the sea of lightning distorted and a colossal face condensed from thunder slowly emerged. This was the avatar of the heavenly Tao of Fangtian Palace, the arbiter of rules who judges those who defy fate. Who are you? Why have you stopped at this Fangtian Palace? Your aura does not belong to this realm. The giant face spoke with chilling indifference. His voice resonated like 10,000 claps of thunder. I raised my eyes and replied, "Is that any of your business?" These words caused the lightning-filled pupils of the colossal face to contract. Clearly, he never expected anyone to dare answer him in such a manner. He remained silent for a moment before asking, "Do you realize you are protecting a group of fate defiers? Fate defiercers? Are you suggesting that my disciples are defying fate?" I let out a soft chuckle. He simply wishes to step out of this Fangtian palace, yet you impose a cage upon him and obstruct him at every turn. The voice of the giant face carried an unquestionable majesty. This world has its own laws. He conspired to break the cage, and for that he should have been erased. To me, it sounded like a total farce. If he wants to go out, then let him. Why waste so many words on such nonsense? Insolence, the laws are inviolable, the fate defier must perish. Before the words even finished, the colossal face in the sky expanded abruptly, transforming into thunderclouds that blotted out the heavens and the earth. Countless bolts of lightning rained down toward me in a frenzied bombardment. Yet, all the lightning dissipated the moment it drew near me. This realization struck terror into the giant face above. He could sense that I hadn't even exerted half of my strength. My mere presence was enough to crush his full power strike. Suppressing he lowered his stance. "Fellow Taoist, you clearly do not belong to this world. Surely you have wandered here by mistake. As long as you are willing to leave, I can act as though today's events never transpired. I can even open the world gate specifically to escort you out." I raised an eyebrow. And why should I leave? The giant face in the sky was rendered speechless, his shock soon turning into indignant rage. "Fellow Taoists, do not push things too far. Though this world is weak, my true self is already on its way. Once my true body descends, it will be the day of your funeral." These words piqued my interest. "Then by all means bring more people with you." I would. The colossal face in the sky surged with lightning in its fury, yet it remained powerless to act. He could sense my presence before him. A single finger of mine was 100 times more powerful than his true physical form. To continue this confrontation would only invite further humiliation upon himself. Just you wait. Leaving behind a final threat, the giant face dissolved into thunderclouds and vanished into the void. As the sea of thunder returned to its calm state, my figure flickered and vanished, reappearing a moment later within the Sect's mirror pavilion. At that moment, the ancient locust tree in the courtyard revealed a pair of aged eyes, remarking, "Causing trouble again, I see. That surge of heavenly might nearly snapped all of my old roots." Hearing this, I waved my hand dismissively. It was merely that old fool from the heavenly Tao trying to obstruct my disciple. I simply scolded him and sent him packing. The leaves of the old locust tree trembled at my words. "You even dare to berate the heavenly Tao of the Fang Tian realm? Are you not afraid he will truly return with reinforcements? Let them come. My only fear is that he won't bring enough people for a decent fight." The old locust tree was left speechless by such audacity. "You are truly far too arrogant." Though the tree spoke those words, it couldn't help but wonder, what exactly is this young man's true origin? I have lived for 1,000,000 years, yet I still cannot fathom the depths of his power. Last time he casually planted a single seed, and now it has grown into a demonic tree capable of devouring the very stars. Sensing the old tree's thoughts, I offered a faint smile without explanation, walking over to my rocking chair to rest. Meanwhile, within the main hall of the Xuantian sect, the leader of the dispatched cultivators knelt on one knee, his voice laced with an irrepressible tremor. "This subordinate is incompetent. Everyone sent to intercept Xiao Chen has been eliminated." Xiao Feng sat upon his grand chair, his expression unreadable. After entering the secret realm, his sole focus had been on securing the ancient inheritance. He had assumed that given the strength of his subordinates, dealing with a newcomer like Xiao Chen would be as easy as flipping one's palm. He never anticipated such an outcome. Useless trash. To think you couldn't even handle a mere brat. A cruel glint flashed in Zhao Feng's eyes. "Inform the Shadow Pavilion. Tell them the agents they sent are all dead." The cultivator below looked up in sudden shock. It was the law of the Shadow Pavilion. Should their dispatched assassins fail, they would spare no expense to continue the hunt until the target finally perished. Was this not perhaps too ruthless? Zhao Feng let out a cold sneer. Xiao Chen had ruined his plans. Allowing him to live would inevitably lead to disaster sooner or later. The cultivator dared not offer further counsel, only bowing before withdrawing. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye, while a crimson figure cultivated in the courtyard. The fragrant aroma of food wafted from the kitchen. Xiao Chen, wearing a coarse apron, was placing the final dish of steamed catfish onto the table. Aside from his daily cultivation, he enjoyed experimenting with culinary arts, meticulously tending to the meals of his master and junior sister. By the time I entered the house, the meal was already neatly prepared. My gaze lingered on Xiao Chen for a moment. Your spear techniques have improved significantly these past few days. However, your killing intent is too heavy. You must find inner peace. Xiao Chen scratched his head. This disciple understands, master. I only wish to achieve a breakthrough quickly. I cannot allow my junior sister to remain ahead of me forever. Your junior sister reached the soul transformation stage a few days ago. You truly need to apply yourself more. With that, I changed the subject. A martial arts tournament is soon to be held in the northern region, and any sect or power may send their representatives. If you two are free, go and participate. By clashing with the geniuses of other factions, you might find the opportunity for a breakthrough. Upon hearing this, Xiao Chen's eyes lit up. Truly? Then I shall go. It is the perfect chance to test my skills against the geniuses of the northern region. Zhang Li also nodded in agreement. While I was making arrangements for my disciples in a small remote village on the border of the northern region, inside a dilapidated schoolhouse, a young scholar stood before a blackboard teaching a group of children. His name was Tu Shi. He had arrived at Luha village 3 months prior. Seeing that the village children had no place to learn their characters, he cleared out this abandoned woodshed to serve as their teacher. The children loved his lessons, and even the adults of the village would stand by the door to listen whenever they had a spare moment. Teacher, will you be lecturing on the Analects again tomorrow? A young girl looked up and asked. Tushi patted her head. Today is our final lesson. I must depart tomorrow. Where are you going, teacher? The children immediately crowded around him, their small faces filled with reluctance to see him go. Tushi let out a soft sigh. All good things must come to an end. I too have my own path that I must follow. You must study diligently so that one day you may leave these mountains and see the world beyond. That afternoon, the sound of rhythmic recitation echoed clearly from the schoolhouse. Early the next morning, everyone in Luoha village, young and old, men and women, gathered at the village entrance. As Tushi looked upon those honest, simple faces, his eyes began to well with emotion. 3 months ago, he arrived here as a refugee, a mere passerby, yet he was bound to this place by the villagers' genuine kindness. He bowed deeply and said, I offer my profound gratitude to my neighbors for your care over the past 3 months. I, Sushi, shall keep this kindness etched within my heart. With those words, he took one final look at the vibrant life within the small village before turning to depart. Behind him, the sorrowful cries of the children echoed. Farewell, teacher, the villagers called out in parting. Take care on your journey. System prompt, new disciple mission activated. Travel to the northern region and take Sushi as your disciple. A peerless talent of the Confucian path, possessing the destiny of the Wenku star, descended to the mortal realm. A single thought can stir the boundless righteous chi of the heavens. A single word can dictate the very order of heaven and earth. Mission rewards, 3 talismans of universal immunity and 5,000 years of cultivation base. Upon hearing this, I stroked my chin before my figure flickered and vanished from the courtyard. At that moment, on the edge of a field outside Qingfeng town in the northern region, Sushi sat beneath a tree, immersed in a book. Suddenly, a languid voice drifted from nearby. Are you Sushi? Startled, Sushi turned his head only to find me standing before him, though he had no idea when I had arrived. This junior, Sushi, greets you. I smirked and replied, My name is Lin Dan. I wish to take you as my disciple and lead you onto the path of cultivation. Sushi was stunned, then gave a wry smile. This junior is but a mere mortal. I cannot even sense the world's spiritual energy. How could I possibly possess the qualifications to seek the Tao? I did not answer his concern directly, but instead posed an entirely different question. In your eyes, what is the Tao? This question left Sushi in a state of dazed contemplation. The scriptures he had studied spoke of the benevolence of Confucius and Mencius and the non-action of Laozi and Zhuangzi. Yet none had ever truly defined what the Tao ultimately was. Was it the laws of the universe, the balance of good and evil within the human heart, or something else entirely? Standing at the edge of the field, he fell into a deep meditative trance. This period of contemplation lasted for 8 full days. As the first rays of the morning sun graced Sushi's face, he suddenly opened his eyes, the confusion that once clouded them having completely vanished. An extraordinarily pure aura began to emanate from his body. It was the legendary righteous chi of the great vastness. Seeing this, I smiled faintly. Tuship cupped his hands and said, This junior is foolish. It took 8 days of reflection to gain a small amount of insight. I nodded in approval and lightly touched the center of Tuship's forehead. A flood of information rushed into his mind, the introductory cultivation technique of the Confucian Tao. Tuship felt his sea of consciousness become clear and lucid. The books he had read and the lessons he had taught suddenly intertwined, forming a single cohesive thread within his mind. The noble righteous chi throughout his body began to circulate automatically. Though he had not yet formally drawn chi into his marrow, his aura was already more profound than that of an ordinary chi condensation cultivator. My deepest thanks, master. Tuship knelt solemnly and kowtowed, finally realizing that the person before him was truly extraordinary. I waved my hand dismissively. Do you wish to follow me back to the Qingyun sect, or do you desire further tempering in the world? This disciple wishes to undergo tempering for a while longer. Having just entered the Confucian Tao, my understanding and enlightenment are still too shallow. I wish to teach more children and witness the myriad facets of this mortal world to solidify my foundation. Hearing this, I took out 2 sound transmission talismans. These are the transmission talismans of your first senior brother Tu Chen and your second senior sister Jiang Li. Should any matter arise, you may use them to contact them. I then handed him a jade pendant. This is the Scholar's Heart Pendant. It can block 3 powerful attacks and is intended to preserve your life. Finally, I withdrew a thread-bound book from my storage ring. Its cover was blank, yet it radiated an aura that shook Tu Sheep's very soul. That aura was purer than all the scriptures of the sages he had ever read combined. This book is titled The Confucian Scripture of 10,000 Laws. Within it lies the cultivation methods of the Confucian Tao, as well as the divine ability words become law. You must comprehend it yourself. My deepest thanks, Master. Tu Sheep bowed once more. When he raised his head, my figure had already vanished, leaving only a single sentence echoing in his ears. I am departing. Should you wish to return to the sect, crush the transmission talisman, and I shall come for you. From this day forth, the Qingyun sect had gained another name capable of enlightening an entire region in the future. A few days later, at the Northern Region Martial Arena, the annual martial arts tournament began. Xiao Chen blended into the crowd, carrying his rusted iron spear. Have you heard the news? This martial arts grand assembly is being led by the Northern Region. The top-tier geniuses of the Western region will all be in attendance. They claim it is for friendly exchange, but in truth, it is to probe the strength of the various regions. The Southern region is likely in grave danger this time. Last time in the Hidden Dragon's secret realm, the young sect master of the Purple Lightning sect was slain by someone from the Zhuanqian sect. Even a deity transformation elder was severely wounded. Their reputation has plummeted. These fragmented whispers reached Xiao Chen's ears. Xiao Chen remained expressionless, having already grasped the true nature of this martial assembly. While dubbed an exchange, it was actually a raw contest of power between the regions. The victors would gain not only prestige but also tangible benefits. Just as he found a corner to settle his mind, several hostile gazes swept toward him. Is this not a cultivator from the southern region? To have just suffered a crushing defeat at the dragon-locking secret realm and still have the audacity to show your face at the martial arts grand assembly? As soon as these words were spoken, others immediately joined in with their own jeers. I heard that southern region cultivators are best at one thing, running away. Last time at the dragon-locking secret realm, some brat named Xiao Chen was hunted like a stray dog by the Shadow Pavilion. In the end, he only survived by crawling into a hole and hiding. As the mockery grew louder, Xiao Chen's hand tightened around his rusted spear. Yet he remained composed and did not strike. He had not come here for petty squabbles, but to gauge the strength of the northern region and perhaps stir up some trouble for the Xuantian sect and the Shadow Pavilion. As night fell, Xiao Chen sought lodging at a tavern near the first martial arts arena. In the main hall, the first floor, groups of cultivators gathered over wine, their conversations never straying from tomorrow's grand assembly. Meanwhile, within an elegant private room on the second floor, several figures watched Xiao Chen through a narrow opening in the screen. It is indeed him, that Xiao Chen who managed to escape us at the dragon-locking secret realm. This time we shall ensure he falls permanently here in the northern region. A man clad in the dark attire of the Shadow Pavilion nodded beside them. Rest assured, everything is prepared. Shortly we will send some dim-witted northern cultivators to provoke him. The moment he raises his hand against them, even without direct evidence, the northern cultivators will collectively brand him an enemy. When that happens, let alone participating in the assembly, whether he can leave the northern region alive will be in question. The group plotted in hushed tones, their eyes gleaming with cold calculation, as if they could already see Xiao Chen being miserably besieged by the northern masses. Sure enough, a provocative voice soon rang out near Xiao Chen's ear. From where did this stray dog wander in, daring to show his face here? Many onlookers turned their heads, eager to witness the impending conflict. Xiao Chen knew full well that this man was merely a pawn pushed to the front lines. The true malice remained hidden in the shadows. Thus he only uttered a single indifferent word: begun. Enraged by this dismissal, the opponent immediately swung a heavy fist toward Xiao Chen. But when the fist was still 3 feet away, it was suddenly halted by an invisible barrier. It was the spear chi naturally radiating from Xiao Chen's body. The surrounding cultivators were instantly stunned into silence. What kind of technique is this? He blocked the strike using nothing but his aura. Xiao Chen did not even bother to lift his gaze. A strand of spear chi, refined to its absolute limit, shot forth from the barrier, accurately piercing through the opponent's chest. Clutching his chest, the man vomited mouthfuls of blood. The spear intent had only damaged his meridians, and while it was not life-threatening, it was enough to ensure he could not channel spiritual energy for half a year. Everyone present was struck with terror by Xiao Chen's display of power, yet he paid no heed to the surrounding shock. His gaze fell upon a youth clad in white. From the moment he had entered the guest greeting pavilion, this youth's eyes had never left him. Filled with scrutiny and appraisal, the longsword at the youth's waist emitted a faint chill. He was clearly a master of the blade. Xiao Chen gripped his rusted spear and stepped toward the table one pace at a time. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, he spoke loudly to the white-clad youth. "Your Excellency has watched for long enough. Do you dare to engage me in battle?" This white-clad youth belonged to a peak power of the northern region. He was Qin Chong, a core disciple of the Hanshui Pavilion. He held a massive reputation within the northern region, and it was said he was one of the leading figures of his generation. Xiao Chen must be insane to dare challenge Qin Chang. Hearing the murmurs of the crowd, Qin Chang gave a cold sneer and replied, "You are not worthy." The moment those words were spoken, the spear intent surrounding Xiao Chen erupted violently. Qin Chang's expression shifted instantly. This spear intent caused him to feel a powerful sense of threat. Daring not to delay, he unsheathed his longsword and lunged toward Xiao Chen. Spear and sword collided, igniting a flurry of blinding spark. After the third move, Xiao Chen caught a flaw in Qin Chang's technique and thrust his spear tip toward the opponent's heart. But at that precise moment, another figure appeared before Qin Chang like a phantom. With a light flick of a longsword, he accurately parried the rusted spear tip. As the crowd looked closer, they saw the newcomer was the eldest disciple of the Han Shui Pavilion, Lin Chen. Lin Chen's reputation in the northern region was even greater than Shang's. It was rumored that his true strength was unfathomable. Lin Chen spoke in a stern tone, "You were used as a pawn by others without even realizing it. Return and face the wall in meditation for a month to reflect." Qin Chang stood in a daze, clearly realizing the truth. The one who had incited him to act just moments ago, pitting him against Xiao Chen. It is said that Xiao Chen wounded the cultivators of the northern region. If he is not taught a lesson, what will become of the Han Shui Pavilion's prestige? Having finished disciplining Qin Chang, Lin Chen cupped his hands and spoke. "Your spear techniques are truly exceptional." Lin Chen offers his admiration. "My younger brother was deceived by others and has committed many offenses. I ask for your forbearance." At the same time, upon the northern tundra, Zhang Li stood before a stone tablet and spoke calmly. "You have waited long." As soon as he finished speaking, a pale blue soul fragment emerged from the stone tablet. The moment he saw Zhang Li, his entire body trembled violently. "Your Majesty, it is you. Your subordinate has waited 3,000 years for this day." This was Xiao Zhan, the commander of Jiang Li's personal guard in his previous life. Zhang Li looked at him, a flicker of complex emotion crossing his eyes. "In those years I caused you all much suffering." Since leaving the Dragon's secret realm, Zhang Li had become acutely aware of his own shortcomings. Had he been able to further undo the seal on the rusted sword back then, perhaps Zhang Kui's chains could also have been broken. Over the past few months, he had cultivated day and night without rest, finally approaching the threshold of the first layer of the seal. With this thought, he slowly drew the rusted sword from his waist and poured his spiritual energy into it. Moments later, the rust upon the blade faded slightly. Seeing this, Zhang Li moved. The rusted sword, carrying a sharp sword intent, struck the stone tablet. Xiao Zhan's soul form trembled with excitement. This was the Emperor's might. "Your Majesty's imperial might still remains." As he spoke, the chains instantly shattered, and Xiao Zhan's soul form expanded with newfound strength. "I thank your Majesty." Sheathing his sword, Zhang Li said, "Stay by my side. Once my strength has progressed, I shall forge a new physical body for you." Your subordinate obeys. The soul form transformed into a streak of light and entered a jade pendant at Zhang Li's waist. This was a soul-nourishing jade that Zhang Li had refined using materials I had provided. It possessed the power to sustain and nurture soul forms. Having finished, Zhang Li raised his head and looked deep into the tundra. There he could faintly sense even more powerful fluctuations of aura. It seemed as though other former subordinates were also sealed there. In this world, there exists a sea of chaos, a place where even soul transformation cultivators dare not set foot. At this moment, in the depths of the sea of chaos, 4 blurred figures of light hovered within the void. Are you certain that in this barbaric lower realm, there exists a powerhouse whom even you cannot see through? The light shadow on the right flickered slightly. It is absolutely certain. Last time, I projected my manifestation into the southern region. I originally intended to observe the people of this world, but it was he who proactively sought me out. It seems he does not view me as a threat, which is why he refrained from taking action against me. The central figure of light chuckled softly. To think someone could actually make you feel threatened, how intriguing. What is his background? It remains unclear. I attempted to divine his true identity, but I was met with the backlash of an invisible force. Fortunately, I withdrew in time. Otherwise, my very essence in life would have been forfeit. Based on my intuition, there is a high probability he is not a living being of this world, but rather an existence from a higher dimension. A higher dimension? The final silhouette of light spoke. Then why would such a being descend to this desolate, low-dimensional realm? Could it be that he also knows the secrets of this world? The 4 figures of light fell into a heavy silence. They were restricted by the laws of this world. Their true bodies could not descend upon the main domain. They could only observe through their projected forms. Now that a powerhouse from a higher dimension has suddenly appeared, how could they not be shaken to their core? At that moment, the tone of the figure on the left turned cold. Regardless of what he knows, if this man truly poses a threat to us, he must be eliminated immediately. By combining the strength of the 4 of us, it is not impossible to slay him. As the words faded, the world slowly darkened until it vanished without a trace. Simultaneously, the martial arena of the Northern Region Imperial City opened its gates. The first round of the 4 regions' martial arts Grand Assembly officially commenced. The first round was a point-based trial. All participating cultivators would be scattered via random teleportation arrays. Slaying demonic beasts within the mountain range earned points, while defeating cultivators from other regions allowed one to seize 30% of their total score. After 3 days, those in the top 100 would advance. Xiao Chen stood within the teleportation array, his communication talisman hanging silently at his waist. Before arriving, Zhang Li had sent word that he had other urgent matters in the northern region and would be delayed, advising Xiao Chen to be cautious. Following a flash of white light, Xiao Chen appeared within a dense, sprawling forest, the shadow pavilion of the Xuan Tian sect. If I encounter them, I shall make them taste the bitterness of having their point stolen. Briefly discerning his direction, he gripped his rusted spear and ventured deep into the mountain range. A few hours later, the point display before Xiao Chen surged to 290 points. Among the participants, this score was considered above average. He was in no hurry to plunder points from other cultivators. Instead, he focused his attention on the hidden opportunities deep within the mountains. The Black Wind Mountain Range is a renowned danger zone in the northern region. Legends say its depths hide thousand-year spirit herbs and even the abodes of ancient cultivators. If one could find them, it would be far more profitable than slaying demon beasts for points. As a light breeze swept past, Xiao Chen's footsteps suddenly came to an unsteady halt. The surrounding air seemed to grow thick and viscous. Within the scent of the vegetation, a faint trace of murky energy fluctuated. It felt like a formation. "Boy, stop right there," a mocking voice called out from ahead. In the clearing that was originally empty, faint golden runes suddenly flickered to life. Standing out to the formation was a young man named Chen Yun, a cultivator from the eastern region. Chen Yun sized Xiao Chen up from head to toe, his eyes filled with contempt. "From the southern region, are you? It seems you have gathered quite a few points. Hand them over and kowtow 3 times, and I might just let you go. What do you say?" He had long ago calculated that cultivators from the southern region had lost all faith in the Dragon Prison secret realm. Their strength was surely nothing to fear. This Xiao Chen looked young, yet he possessed many points. He would make a perfect stepping stone. He could seize the points while simultaneously trampling on the reputation of the southern region. Spiritual energy circulated within Xiao Chen as he sensed the fluctuations of the formation. It was indeed somewhat intricate. The flowing runes were capable of suppressing spiritual power, but to him it was far too crude. He did not even need to invoke his spear intent. With a casual horizontal sweep of his spear, the web of faint golden runes instantly shattered. The smile on Chen Yun's face froze. Impossible. This spirit-locking formation can even trap a spirit transformation realm cultivator. Before his words could even land, Xiao Chen appeared before him like a phantom, the cold tip of his spear pressed firmly against his throat. "You, don't do anything rash. I am a member of the Danhe sect from the eastern region." Chen Yun's voice trembled with terror, but Xiao Chen's gaze remained ice cold. "Hand over your over." I'll hand them over. Chen Yun hurriedly produced his point jade plaque. "I have 180. Xiao Chen accepted the jade token, yet the tip of his spear did not budge. "Is that all?" Chen Yun was momentarily stunned before realizing that the youth found the offering insufficient. He gritted his teeth. "I have a piece of information. Can it be exchanged for the remainder of my points?" Xiao Chen raised an eyebrow slightly. "What news?" In the deepest part of the Dragon Pond within the Black Wind Mountain Range, there resides a half-step soul transformation black water flood dragon. That dragon guards a 1,000-year-old dragon saliva grass, which is rumored to aid a cultivator in breaking through to the soul transformation realm. I only heard of this by chance, and originally intended to find an opportunity to join forces with others to try our luck. A flicker of interest flashed through Xiao Chen's eyes. He was currently at the nascent soul stage. There was still a significant distance to the soul transformation realm. If he could obtain that dragon saliva grass, with that thought, Xiao Chen withdrew his rusty iron spear, drained the points from the jade token, and threw it back. He then turned and headed toward the Dragon Pond. A short while later, dozens of cultivators had gathered around the Dragon Pond, and Xiao Chen was naturally among them. Before long, a mid-stage nascent soul cultivator stepped forward. That Blackwater Flood Dragon is at the half-step soul transformation stage. A single person has absolutely no chance of victory. Why don't we join forces to slay the dragon? We shall divide the points and treasures based on our contributions. What do you say? As soon as these words were spoken, the majority of the crowd voiced their agreement. Once the details were settled, the nascent soul cultivator's gaze swept across the area, finally landing on Xiao Chen in the corner. "Fellow Taoist from the southern region, you are here to hunt the dragon as well, are you not? Why not join us? There is strength in numbers." The surrounding cultivators looked over upon hearing this, only to see Xiao Chen shake his head. "There is no need. I will handle it myself." His brought a sudden silence to the lakeside. Handle it himself? Had they heard him correctly? That was a half-step soul transformation flood dragon they were facing. A few scoffs of derision rang out, but at that very moment, the tranquil surface of the pond suddenly erupted into violent waves. Accompanied by an ear-splitting roar, a massive monstrosity rose from beneath the depths. It was the half-step soul transformation black water flood dragon. Such powerful pressure. Quickly circulate your energy to resist it. The complexions of the cultivators by the pond changed drastically as they desperately channeled their spiritual power to withstand the aura. Numerous mid-stage nascent soul cultivators found their bodies trembling, as even the simple act of breathing became a heavy burden, yet Si Chen remained standing firm, his expression showing no signs of distress. The black water flood dragon let out a furious roar, churning up monstrous waves that reached the heavens as its powerful corrosive energy instantly struck several cultivators, the agonizing pain forcing them to scream out in wretched misery. Terror gripped their hearts despite dozens joining forces. They were on the verge of defeat before the battle had even truly begun. But at that moment, Xiao Chen made his move. His rusty iron spear transformed into a bolt of lightning, piercing precisely into the gap between the scales near the dragon's tail. In excruciating pain, the black water flood dragon let out an even more anguished roar. The cultivators gazed at the solitary figure facing the dragon's ferocious glare, the mockery in their hearts having long since vanished, replaced instead by a flicker of complex anticipation. As time passed, the onlookers began to notice that Xiao Chen seemed to be falling into a disadvantage. The flood dragon clearly realized this as well, opening its maw to spit out a dense barrage of pitch-black water arrows, sealing off every possible path of retreat for Xiao Chen. Seeing this, Xiao Chen felt a surge of joy within his heart, for at this precise moment he exerted his full strength to hurl the rusty iron spear, which tore through the air with a piercing whistle, striking directly at the dragon's reverse scale. The flood dragon let out one final roar of resentment before slowly sinking into the depths of the marsh, vanishing without a trace. Everyone present stood there, slack-jawed and utterly speechless. Watching the dragon sink to the bottom, they realized he had truly slain it single-handedly. A half-step soul transformation blackwater flood dragon. The points. Quickly, look at the points. Someone pointed with a trembling finger toward the light screen in the sky. Xiao Chen's points were soaring at an incredible speed, his score surging by 100 points. The cultivators of the southern region were first stunned, then erupted into heaven-shaking cheers. We won. Our southern region has won. Who dare say our southern region lacks capable men? That spear strike was magnificent. Xiao Chen paid no heed to the cheers echoing around him. He looked down at the dragon's corpse beneath the water's surface, then at his own slightly trembling hand, as a subtle smile played upon his lips. He had actually held back on that final spear strike. Otherwise, with his true power, such a struggle would have been entirely unnecessary. To reveal his full strength before the eyes of so many cultivators would certainly not have been a wise move, especially since the members of the Xuantian sect were still lurking in the shadows. He retrieved a green medicinal pill from his spatial bag, which happened to be the chi recovery pill I had given him. He had been reluctant to use it before, but now was the perfect time to restore his spiritual energy. A faint light suddenly flickered at the bottom of the pond, and a small purple stalk of grass slowly drifted to the surface following the flood dragon's death. It was the thousand-year dragon saliva grass. Everyone's gaze was instantly drawn to the dragon saliva grass, their eyes burning with renewed greed. Everyone present should have a share. A rogue cultivator from the eastern region shouted uncontrollably. That's right, cultivators of the southern region should not be so greedy. Another cultivator from the western region chimed in. In their eyes, Xiao Chen had just slain the flood dragon and must have exhausted his spiritual energy. Now was the perfect opportunity to strike and plunder. However, Xiao Chen acted as if he hadn't heard them, slowly walking toward the dragon saliva grass. His footsteps were still somewhat unsteady, appearing exactly as the crowd suspected, like a spent arrow at the end of its flight. Yet for some unknown reason, as they watched him approach step by step, none of those restless cultivators actually dared to step forward. Once the dragon saliva grass was secured in a jade box, a new voice rang out. Fellow Taoist Xiao, congratulations on slaying the dragon and obtaining such a supreme treasure, said the nascent soul cultivator from before. We were powerless and could not be of much assistance. This dragon saliva grass rightfully belongs to you. Those people are merely blinded by envy. The surrounding southern region cultivators voiced their agreement in unison. Xiao Chen glanced at Uzi's speaker, then swept his gaze across the southern region cultivators before suddenly offering the jade box containing the grass. Everyone was stunned, including the nascent soul cultivator himself. What was the meaning of this? If I give it to you, then take it. Xiao Chen's voice remained calm and indifferent. I only require the trial points, that is enough. You are a core disciple of the Purple Lightning Sect. Taking this may help your sect recover some of its vitality. During the last expedition to the Dragon's secret realm, the Purple Lightning Sect suffered heavy losses. Their young sect master had fallen, and a deity transformation elder was severely injured. This dragon saliva grass was indeed far more useful to them than it was to him. A flicker of deep gratitude, he took a deep breath and accepted the jade box. Fellow Taoist Xiao, for this act of friendship, the Purple Lightning Sect shall remember this well. As the cultivators of the southern region witnessed this, their perception of Xiao Chen shifted completely. He possessed not only formidable strength but also a heart untainted by greed. Such a figure was truly worthy of their absolute respect and admiration. Xiao Chen paid them no further mind, turning to head toward the outskirts of the Black Wind mountain range. His points were already sufficient. Staying any longer would only invite unnecessary trouble. Deep within the distant forest, several dark figures watched Xiao Chen's departing silhouette, whispering amongst themselves. The target's strength is estimated to be capable of barely slaying a half-step soul formation flood dragon. We should not risk an engagement now. Inform the superiors that for the assassination it is best to send more men. This time he must not be allowed to escape. The dark figures vanished silently, as if they had never existed. As Xiao Chen walked, he seemed to sense something. He cast a cold glance back into the depths of the forest, a chilling smile playing on his lips. Suddenly, the space within the Black Wind mountain range fluctuated violently. Streaks of white light flashed in rapid succession. The participating cultivators were forcibly transported back to the martial arts arena by the formation. The surrounding cultivators began to gather in small groups. How many points did you earn? Don't even mention it. I barely reached 800 points. There is no way I will make the top 100. I had some luck and managed to scavenge 200 points. I might just barely qualify for the next round. Have you heard the news? Senior brother Lin Chen of the northern region has slain a peak 5th rank lightning beast. His points are likely about to break the 4,000 mark. A chorus of whispers filled the air, most of them centered around the point rankings. Xiao Chen listened in silence, his fingers absent-mindedly stroking his point recording jade tablet. After the final days of hunting, his score had risen to 4,908 points, just one step away from the 5,000-point threshold. Silence. The elderly northern region cultivator presiding over the competition stepped onto the high platform, holding a crystal orb that recorded